All right, Larry Krueger here from the Pig and a Pickle Krug Show with a little draft video. And today we're going to break down what the teams in the Niners division did. And we're going to start with the Arizona Cardinals. The Cardinals are thought to be a team that really struggles in the draft year after year. They always wind up with high picks, and they never really ever come away with any momentum. They don't ever seem like they close any ground on the Rams, the Niners, or the Seahawks in the division. But I love the draft that they just had in Arizona. Let's talk a little bit about it. It started with Paris Johnson. The Cardinals traded down, then traded back up for the Ohio State offensive tackle. This was the best offensive tackle in the draft. This guy's 6'6", 315 pounds, great athlete, probably going to be a plug-and-play starter at left tackle, high-impact guy. I think he could start at guard or either tackle spot as a rookie. He immediately improves an offensive line that needed help, and I think there's a very good chance that he's a 15-year starter. So they started their draft with Paris Johnson, and that's a great place to start right there. But it didn't end there. In fact, they had great picks all throughout the draft. Round 2, they took B.J. Ojulari, the pass rusher from LSU, and he just had a tremendous year rushing the passer. This guy's going to put a lot of heat on the quarterback. He's going to stress out a lot of offensive tackles. Then they went with Garrett Williams, the cornerback from Syracuse. And Williams, I thought, was a real good value in the third round. Athletic corner, very physical. I think he's a guy that's going to make their team and play a significant role. Then the Cardinals had 2 picks in the third round. With their second third-round pick, they took the Stanford wide receiver Michael Wilson. And if Michael Wilson is healthy, man, this really is a great addition for the Cardinals if Wilson's healthy. He battled a lot of injuries in college, and you just never know if he's healthy. But if he is healthy, what a pickup for the Cardinals. I mean, you got to remember this. There was a lot of talk that they were going to move DeAndre Hopkins in the draft in a trade, and we didn't see that happen. I don't know if they're going to wind up moving Hopkins or not. But, not a bad receiving core. Marquise Brown, Rondale Moore, DeAndre Hopkins. They have Zach Pascal. Now you add Michael Wilson to that mix. I think that's a really nice addition right there by the Cardinals. So Michael Wilson, if healthy, great pick. Then Jonathan Gaines, a big guard from UCLA, once again bolstering the offensive line, big body, athletic guard. Then in the 5th round, they went with Clayton Tune, the quarterback out of Houston. I'm a huge fan of Clayton Tune. And, this year, there's a very good chance that Clayton Tune is going to have to play for the Cardinals. Because if you look at Arizona's depth chart, Kyler is obviously the 1. Colt McCoy is the 2. But now, and you still have David Blau there. You have Jeff Driscoll. But Clayton Tune, I think, is going to wind up playing in Arizona this year. I would not be surprised if he starts a game. So the injuries to Kyler, and you got Colt there, who's a good backup, and then you got a developmental quarterback in Tune, and I thought that was a terrific pick. Now let's get to they had 2 picks in the 5th round. They took Owen Papo from Auburn, who is exceptionally fast. I mean, we're talking about one of the fastest linebackers in the entire draft. Cardinals already have a strong linebacking core, with Zaven Collins, Kazir White, Cam Thomas, Myjai Sanders. Now that you add B.J. Ojulari in the 3-4 outside backer role, you got Papo, you got Chris Barnes, the former UCLA linebacker. They've got a lot there. So I thought that was a really, really nice pickup by the Cardinals to get that player right there. I mean, that to me was a really nice pickup. Papo runs exceptionally well. Then in the 6th round, the Cardinals got one of the great steals of the draft in Keitrell Clark. And Clark's a slot corner who played at Louisville, and if you watch his film, he's incredibly productive. He was a player that I really thought the 49ers were going to go after, and he falls all the way to the 6th round. But I think he's a guy that is going to really help their secondary. So, I mean, you look at that addition with Keitrell Clark at the nickelback. The Cardinals in the secondary have Antonio Hamilton and Mario Wilson, the starters on the corner. Budda Baker, unless he gets traded, is the starter at strong safety. Jalen Thompson's a very good free safety, and they play Isaiah Simmons as their nickelback, believe it or not. But Keitrell Clark will give them a different look at a nickelback, a smaller guy, more of a corner and less of a linebacker. So he helps them. He helps them quite a bit. I think they are looking really nice with the pickups they've made. And then they also added Amari Dermacado, a running back from TCU after the draft. I really like that pickup for them as well. He's a guy who just runs with incredible power, great short yardage back. And then the Cardinals, with their final draft choice, went with Dante Stills, a player that the 49ers had looked at, an undersized interior rusher who can create a lot of heat on the quarterback. So I love the picks. Like, if you say, I would say the Paris Johnson pick's an A. B.J. Ojulari coming off a phenomenal year at LSU. That's a great pick. Garrett Williams, just an okay pick. But Michael Wilson, if he's healthy, that's a terrific pick. John Gaines, the guard, we'll see. That's more of a developmental. But Clayton Tune in the 5th round's value. Owen Papo in the 5th round, the way he runs, that could give a tremendous element to this defense. Keitrell Clark, a slot corner who I think can maybe start right away. He's a terrific player. They get him in the 6th round, and then Dante Stills added to their front line. I mean, that's nice. You look at that Cardinal front line. It's a 3-4, and I'm not sure if Stills fits in to their front. But you got Rashad Lawrence and Lecky Fotu and Jonathan Ledbetter up front. And this just adds another body to it. But Stills is an interesting player and a very productive football player. As far as what the Cardinals did after the draft, they signed 4 undrafted free agents, and they filled out their 90-man roster. Arizona, they went with the Arizona cornerback Lorenzo Burns, the NC State tight end Kerry Angeline, the Oklahoma State D lineman Cam Murray, and the Cincinnati tight end Bruno LaBelle. So Burns is the big name guy there. He's a 5'10", 185-pound corner. He was the University of Arizona's defensive MVP in 2019. And just a real good player, very productive interceptor. He tied for the Pac-12 lead with 5 picks in 2017. And just another cornerback option, when you look at as far as, their depth on the corner. So overall, I really liked what the Cardinals did. I would give them a solid B+ for their draft. I mean, that's a really, really nice, group of players that they took there. I mean, I think Paris Johnson could be a star for them. Ojulari, I think, is going to make an impact. Michael Wilson, I think, definitely makes their team. Who knows? Clayton Tune could be their quarterback of the future. And if Kyler doesn't start to play better, maybe he could be their quarterback of the present. And then I thought they finished the draft going 3 for 3. And if you can hit on your late round picks, that's a good thing. Papo's got 4.3 speed. Keitrell Clark's film is incredible. And Dante Stills, I don't think he fits a 34 front, which is interesting why they took him. I think he's more of a one-gap penetrator who really benefits from stunting games up front. But, still a solid football player, and we'll see how he fits into their 3-4 front. So overall, I would say the Cardinals got a solid B to B+ draft. And that's not good news for the 49ers. I think long-term, Paris Johnson gives them just an absolute foundation piece on their offensive line. They improved their offensive line. They definitely gave themselves a really nice defensive back in Keitrell Clark. They get a really nice receiver in Michael Wilson. Garrett Williams gives them another corner who's got some size and some ability. I like it. I like it for the Cardinals. I'd say a B+ draft overall for the Cardinals, and they're a team to watch for sure in the division. I don't think nobody's going to pick the Cardinals, But that's a really good draft, and they added a number of good football players to their roster. All right, hope you enjoyed the Krug Show video on the Arizona Cardinals. Check out Pig and a Pickle in Corte Madera and in Emeryville. They're open 7 days a week in Marin, Wednesday through Sunday in Emeryville. Pig and a Pickle, the best barbecue in all of Northern California. And thanks for supporting the Krug Show on YouTube.